Welcome to InventoryMind. This is an inventory management system for computer laboratories which is integrated with web and mobile applications. The system improves the reliability and user experience while reducing the use of paper material and the overall complexity. System consists of 4 user roles, namely administrator, student, lecturer and technical officer. Flutter framework and React library is used for the mobile and web applications respectively. Node.js runtime environment is used for the API, whereas PostgreSQL is used as the relational database management system. Mobile application is designed for the use of students, lecturers and technical officers. In order to sign in, users should select the user role and enter the credentials. Then the users will be directed to their respective dashboards. The user can view the navigation drawer by selecting the menu toggle button on the top left corner. Navigation menu consists of unique menu items for each user role and common menu items such as profile page, change password and logout. In the profile page, username, ID, email and the contact number are displayed. A student can register to the application by selecting register as a student. All the required input fields are validated. After successfully registering, an email is sent to user including password. In the dashboard, pending equipment returns are displayed with the due date. Borrowing details can be viewed by touching the I button. A message is sent to the student one day prior to the due date. For a borrowing with a time period of more than a day, a student have to make a borrow request using the borrowing request option. The user should have to enter all the required details, including the laboratory, the lecturer, and the borrowing date. Since the borrowing period is restricted to 14 days, only 14 days from the borrowing date is allowed. User has to scan the barcode of the student ID and the equipment barcodes. After a successful submission, request will be sent to the lecturer for approval. The temporary borrowing details can be entered using the temporary borrowing option. The procedure is similar to borrowing request except the equipment should be returned on the same day. User can view the request history by using the request history option. All the requests made by the user will be displayed along with the date of borrowing. Request details can be viewed by touching the I button. Similarly, equipment borrowing history and the respective details of each borrowing can be viewed using the borrowing history option. This is the dashboard of the lecturer. Total number of pending, approved and rejected requests are displayed in the screen. When the user directs to the pending request screen, all the pending requests will be displayed. By touching the I symbol in a specific request, user can view the details of the request. A lecturer can either approve or reject the request by touching the relevant button. After successfully responding, user is directed back to the pending request screen. User can view all the approved and rejected requests by directing to the respective screens. Request details can be viewed using the I symbol in each request card. This is the dashboard of the technical officer. In this screen, total number of available, requested, borrowed, temporarily borrowed, not usable and removed equipments are displayed. Technical officer can add equipment to the laboratory using the add equipment option. User has to enter the name of the equipment and the equipment type. When the equipment is added, equipment barcode and the ID will be displayed. User can use the web application to download the barcode. Using the remove equipment option, user can remove an equipment from the laboratory. User has to simply scan the barcode of the equipment and press the remove equipment button. To transfer equipment, user has to go to the transfer equipment screen. Then select the laboratory that he is going to transfer to. After scanning the barcode, user has to select the transfer equipment button. When a student returns the equipment, technical officer has to enter the details to the system. It can be done using the returned equipment screen. In there, technical officer has to enter the borrowing ID and the borrowing type. When get details button is selected, IDs of the borrowed equipment will be displayed. Then the technical officer has to scan the barcodes of the returned equipment. System accepts this as a return when only all the equipment are returned. After scanning all the equipment barcodes, user should select Mark as Returned button. Using the Change Equipment Status screen, user can change the equipment status from available to not usable and from not usable to available. After selecting the option, user has to scan the equipment barcode. Then select the Change Status button. Using the barcode scanner, a user can scan a barcode at any given time. Now let's move on to the web application which is designed for every user role.
Admin can log into the system by selecting the user type as admin and enter his credentials. This is the dashboard of the admin. It shows the number of laboratories, number of lecturers, number of technical officers and number of students in the system. This is the user profile page of the admin. This shows the details of the admin profile. This is the lecturer page. It shows the details of all the lecturers in the system. The admin can remove a user from the system if he wants by clicking the trash can button. Also, the admin can add a new lecturer by clicking the Add Lecturer button. It will request the details of the lecturer, and if we click it, it will create a user and it will show the message. This is the technical officer table. It is same as the lecturer table. It shows the details of all the technical officers in the system. Here also, the admin can remove a technical officer from the system, and also he can add a new technical officer to the system by clicking the Add Technical Officer button. This is the student table. It is also same as the previous tables. Here also all the details of the students that are registered in the system will be shown. The admin can add a new student by clicking the Add Student button and have to enter the details of the student and submit the form. This is the Assign Technical Officers page. Here the admin can assign a technical officer to a laboratory. The first field is the lab ID, and admin have to select a lab to which he wants to assign a technical officer. The second field is the names of the technical officers, and the admin have to select a name from the list. If we click the Submit button, it will assign the technical officer to the laboratory and it will show the success message. This is the laboratory page. Here all the details of the laboratories will be shown. The admin can remove a laboratory by clicking the dash can, and also add a laboratory by clicking the Add Laboratory button. This is the Add Equipment Type page. Here the admin can add a new type of equipment to the system. This is the Report Summary page. Here the summary of equipments and summary of request and summary of users will be shown. The admin can also export it as a PDF. The student can register to the system by selecting the user type as student. Then the register button will be enabled and student can click the link to register himself. If we click the register button, it will redirect to the sign up page. The student has to enter his details and click the sign up button. It will send the credentials to his email. The student can log into the system using their credentials and change his password. The student can log into the system by selecting the user type as student and enter his credentials. This is the dashboard of the student. This shows the return spending that the student have to return to the laboratory. This is the user profile page. It shows the detail of the student. This is the borrowed list table. It shows the details of the borrowers that are made by the student. The student can view the details of the borrowing by clicking the View button. It will show the details of the borrower. This is the check status table. It will show the status of the requests that are made by the student and not yet responded by the lecturer. Here also, the student can view the details of the request by clicking the View button.
This is the dashboard of the lecturer, and here the total number of pending requests, approved requests and the rejected request will be displayed. And in the profile page, the details of the lecturer who currently logged in will be displayed. And in the pending request, all the borrow requests will be displayed. And here the lecturer can approve or reject a request by clicking these buttons. And using the View button, the lecturer can view the details of the specific borrow request. And in the request history, all the accepted and the rejected requests will be displayed. This is the dashboard of the technical officer, and here the count of equipments, requested equipments, temporary borrowed equipments and not usable equipments will be displayed. And in the user profile page, the details of the technical officer who currently logged in will be displayed. And to generate barcode of an equipment, user needs to enter the equipment ID, and by clicking the Generate button, the barcode of the equipment can be generated, and by clicking the Export button, the barcode can be downloaded. And to add an equipment, user needs to enter the name of the equipment and needs to select the equipment type, and by clicking the Submit button, equipment can be added. In the inventory items table, all the equipments will be displayed, and here technical officer can view the status and the condition of each equipment. In the borrowed item table, details of the borrowed equipments will be displayed. And in the generate reports, the summary of the equipment details, student request and user stats will be visualized using bar chart and pie chart. And here, by clicking the Export button, This can be downloaded to a PDF form.